So the other day I'm in the office and I'm going through my emails and I come across an email from our good friends over at Realtor.com, and the subject line automatically grabs my attention. The subject line reads, 6 first-time homebuyer hopes and dreams that are delusional. So I think to myself, delusional homebuyers in this market? No way, not possible. So I decided to click on the link and learn a little bit more about what Realtor.com has to say about some of these delusional buyers in today's real estate market. So in this video, I want to share with you the 6 things that Realtor.com has identified as delusional, or things that a buyer is just completely off their rocker if they think that they're going to get when it comes to buying a home in 2021 and in 2022. But before we jump into that, a little bit of house cleaning. I'm Chris Nelson with Genstone Realty, team lead of the Nelson Home Group, and this channel is all about real estate advice, tips, and tech. So if any of that excites you, you are in the right place, but do me a favor, drop me a comment, hit that thumbs up, consider subscribing, and mash that bell so that you're notified of my future content. So if you're wondering what the 6 things that Realtor.com has identified as delusion or being completely off your rocker, well, we're going to start with number 1. And for what it's worth, Realtor.com, I think that this point kind of applies regardless when a buyer is buying a house. But coming in at number 1 for Realtor.com is that your home will have everything that you want. Now, again, I don't care what the real estate market is like, unless you are building a custom home and you have thoroughly thought out every little nook and cranny. It is nearly impossible for a home to offer everything that you want. And again, that has nothing to do with the market, everything to do with your level of expectation or lack of preparation or understanding that a home can be critiqued. The biggest thing you want to look for or identify is the things that you have to have up front, the things that you can't live without, but maybe down the road with time and finances could be included or added to the property. For example, maybe central air is something that you want, but you don't have to have immediately. And as time grows or as time goes on and your money grows, this might be something that you can add. But the key takeaway here is that you are delusional, or Realtor.com will label you as delusional if you think that a home is going to offer everything that's on your list. Coming in at number 2, well, this one refers to timing, and this one I truly agree with, especially in today's market, and that is buyers are delusional if they think that they can obtain financing after they find a home that meets their criteria or a home that they love. Now, most realtors are going to encourage that buyers start with step 1, and step 1 is to go ahead and speak with a loan officer and go ahead and get approved or qualified. There's different levels or layers to that, but you want to speak with someone who can educate you and qualify you for financing. So in this market where homes are selling in record numbers historically fast, but in this market where homes are selling faster than we've ever seen, if you think that you are going to look at a home, which most homes nowadays are being listed on Thursday or Friday right before the weekend, if you think you're going to go look at one of those homes, fall in love with it, and then have enough time to get your ducks in a row as far as getting your financing together, well, not only is Realtor.com telling you this, but I am personally telling you this, and that is that you, my friend, are delusional. You have to, in this market, start with your financing. And this should apply to pretty much every real estate market in general, but more so in this market. You have to be pre-approved when you start looking at real estate. Coming in at number 3 actually has to do with the process. Per Realtor.com, you are a delusional buyer if you think that you can handle this process on your own. Now, I've been in the business for over 20 years, and when I got into the business, I feel as though there was additional value to having a realtor from start to finish. One of our biggest jobs was helping you find a home. But over the years, the realtors have actually lost control of owning the actual listing information. Now there are third-party websites that will give the buyers information on homes that are available to them. But really a realtor's value, especially in a market like this, is to get you to the finish line. Finding the home isn't the hardest challenge. Well, maybe it is when it comes to lack of inventory, but finding a home or homes to make an offer on in this market isn't the challenge. The challenge really comes into when you're offer is accepted up until the settlement date. That time frame in between is where all the turbulence comes into play. In this market, especially where buyers are waiving inspections and going well above asking price for their offers, you really need a professional by your side at some point, if not the entire time, when it comes to buying a home in 2021 and throughout 2022. Now, per Realtor.com, you are also delusional and slightly crazy if you think that a seller is going to fix or cure the defects that are found during inspections. Now, I don't want to create a situation where you think that if you're buying a property, every property is going to be as is, because that definitely is not the case. But in today's market, sellers really have the upper hand. And although they're being compensated and they're accepting offers that are well above asking, some buyers are coming in and they're completely waiving inspections. So if you're a buyer who's lucky enough to have a seller accept your offer, one that has some type of an inspection contingency, well, I want you to remain optimistic that you can get the deal done, but know that the seller is probably going to remain reserved when it comes to either issuing credits or correcting issues that you found during an inspection. Maybe they're going to fix a few things, and hopefully they will be compliant if there is a township level inspection so that you're at least getting the property up to code, as one might say. But if you think you're going to get a seller to accept your offer, do a home inspection, and then get them to correct the defects in this type of a market, well, per Realtor.com, you may be delusional. Coming in at number 5 is something that I think, well, if you are watching the news or reading headlines, this one's going to make sense. And that is, if you think you're going to purchase a home at or under the list price, in this market, you are delusional. Now, this is really going to apply for homes that are new to the market. Homes that have been on the market for a few weeks, which we are starting to see. We are starting to see some price reductions come into play. But most realtors who are aligning themselves with a professional who really knows how to dial in the price of that home based on its condition and amenities, and as long as their marketing is done correctly, those homes usually are selling within a matter of days, and they are selling over asking. So if you think you're going to come in and present a competitive offer in this market, but your mindset is that you're going to come in at or below asking, well, again, not only is Realtor.com going to call you delusional, but I am going to side with them and go out on a limb and say that you're crazy in this market if you think that's going to happen. And coming in at number 6, the last bullet point for you crazy folks out there is that if you think in this market that you are going to be better off building a home than finding a home that already exists because that is going to be the easier way to go, well, once again, you are delusional. Building a home is never easy. But in this market, and as we continue to go through 2021, I've never seen a new construction market like this. Now, I give a lot of respect to builders because we are hoping that the builders ramp up production, build more homes, and hopefully help us offset this housing crisis, this housing shortage that we're seeing. But the pandemic has really put the real estate market in a very odd state. And a lot of that has to do with workers not being able to work or being in different lines of work. And you also hear and read news articles of cargo ships being stuck, not being able to come into the ports to deliver things that, well, builders need. Builders need stoves and appliances to put into these houses, and a lot of them are on cargo ships. Price of lumber throughout the summer skyrocketed, which really hurts the builders in their bottom line, and they try not to pass that off to you. But if you think that it is easier for you to build a home because you're not finding one that meets your needs, or you're constantly being outbid by other buyers, well, I want to tell you that you are completely crazy if you think that is the easier route to go. So shout out to our friends over at Realtor.com for putting together these 6 bullet points to help keep you buyers from going crazy in 2021 and into 2022. Keep these things in mind because hopefully they are things that will help keep you on the right track and maybe even get your offer accepted. And as usual, if there's something that you can add, something that we're missing, another bullet point that you think a buyer is crazy for thinking in this real estate market, well, do me a favor and let me know. With all of that being said, I truly appreciate you for taking some time to spend with me today. Do me a favor and check in next time for the very next Just a Tip with Chris. Until then, take care.